Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. In this one, we're in Judge O'Donnell's courtroom for a case about someone accused of a check scam. They aren't telling the truth, and the judge handles it strongly. The ending is one of the most surprising I've seen in a court video.
Your Honor, may it please the court, I'm going to be brief. I know we had discussions in chambers. Mr. Brzezowski has a very long record. He's not proud of it. I've had numerous conversations with him over the past couple months. He stood up, took responsibility for this case early on. He is here today to beg the court. He's here hat in hand for the court to consider giving him an opportunity at community control and possibly chance to go back into a treatment. There is a bed waiting for him at the Matt Talbot Center in the Cleveland area. While this case has been going on separately, there's been cases out of Cuyahoga County that he's pled to, and through those cases, he was referred to the Matt Talbot Center, and then he's been in our county jail, so he hasn't started his treatment there. But Your Honor, he's got a history of various offenses, but specifically here with forging checks, cashing them for the money. He was doing it in this case. He was doing it in Cuyahoga County. Mr. Brzezowski has a drug problem. I know he told probation in this case that for this matter, he used the money to buy and earn, Your Honor, but he also in the past has used money to purchase drugs. I'm asking the court, these are nonviolent offenses. He is remorseful. Again, he's taking responsibility. I'm asking the court to please consider placing him on a community control sanction, giving him an opportunity to go to Matt Talbot and put the ball in his court, Your Honor. If he doesn't follow through, and I know his history isn't promising. I know he's had probation violations in the past, but if he doesn't follow through, then he knows that he's got up to 2 years hanging over his head here. So I'm asking this court to give him an opportunity to show this court that he is serious this time, that he wants to turn his life around and hopefully sober up. Thank you, Your Honor.
We're watching someone who's already had several chances and is now asking for one more. All he has to do is be honest, own up to what he did, and ask the court to be understanding. But instead, he does.
All right, Mr. Brzezowski, what do you want to tell me?
Oh, Your Honor, I just, like Mr. Watson said, I ain't proud of my record. I've been struggling my whole life with a drug addiction. I've been on, just placed in situations that I had some control over and made terrible decisions. I was also placed in situations I had no control over and made good decisions. And this one is just another opportunity, Your Honor. I'd like to show you that I can be probationable and I can be monitored. I can succeed, and I will, and I can sober up.
Then why haven't you? If you can do all that, why haven't you done it?
I've still been hanging on to records of my past, in which I've made an attempt, and actually I've cut 2 people out of my life since I've been in this county. Actually, in Cuyahoga also, I haven't contacted the woman I was involved with. I haven't contacted her.
Who's that?
That was Lori Wood.
How'd you get involved in this scam with these checks?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I found a bag on a job site with a checkbook in it.
What job site?
It was I forget where I was at. I think it was like in Middleburg Heights or somewhere, Wycliffe or some. It was a commercial job site.
Who were you working for?
I was working for Novax at the time.
What's Novax?
It's a painting company. The union that I was laid off because of my drug problem.
So you're working at this job site in, where'd you say, Fairview?
I believe it was Wycliffe. I think, I'm not sure.
Didn't you say?
And I found a bag. I found a duffel bag, backpack.
Didn't you
and it
say
had a
Fairview
checkbook in it.
first time?
Excuse me?
Didn't you say Fairview the first time?
No.
I believe you said Middleburg Heights, Your Honor.
Middleburg Heights, and then now it's Wycliffe.
I'm not sure where it was, to be honest.
So what did you find?
I found a duffel bag, a backpack with a checkbook in it. And the job site was empty because we're the last ones on the job. So it was basically just in a pile of sweaters and jackets. So I kept it. I kept the backpack. I kept it in the vehicle for a while. I probably sat on it a couple months, and rummaging through my stuff, I found it. And basically, I was, at that time using. I had been released from jail, I believe.
So,
And I went back to the woman I told you about, to that house,
to what house?
to my address that I have.
Okay.
And this, like I said, I haven't made no attempts.
So you.
I got talked into signing the checks, and I didn't realize the severity of the situation.
Oh yeah, come on.
I thought it would go against
You've
my
been in
credit
enough
report or
trouble
collections.
for drugs and thieving that you knew exactly what the hell was going on.
I didn't realize the severity of the felony, the offense. I thought, like I said, I thought it was going to go against my collection or credit report.
So, you tried to take someone else's money because you thought it would just hurt your credit and not get you in legal trouble?
I wasn't that smart to know that I was committing a crime.
So you're either in Middleburg Heights or Wycliffe, and you find this duffel bag full of checks of a company that's in Willoughby, right?
I don't know where the company's at. I can't even remember what it was.
So, and then the duffel bag sat in a car for a while,
Yeah,
months. And
about a
then,
month or so.
and then you decide to do what? To take one of these checks? What did you do?
Yeah, I took one of the checks and signed it and made a withdrawal.
What do you mean you signed it? It was a blank check, right?
I put my name on it.
Okay.
Signed it to me.
So you signed it, paid to the order of you, filled in $2,000, and then what'd you do? Sign the bottom of the check then?
Yeah, I believe so.
And
This is so long ago. It's
who's Dusty Mays?
I have no idea.
Where's Ace Cash Express?
I'm not sure. It's a check cashing place, I'm sure. Nonetheless, it was foolish, Your Honor.
Who's Constance Wagner?
I believe that was probably another check I wrote.
Okay. Well, who's Constance Wagner?
I have no idea.
Why did you make out a check to Constance Wagner?
I was using the money to get the drugs, Your Honor.
I know, why Constance Wagner?
I'm not sure.
Why did you make a check out to Dusty Mays?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Okay. Why don't you have a discussion with him, and he can decide if he wants to keep lying to me,
I mean, I don't know.
or if he wants to be straight with me. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor.
Yeah, this is definitely not the judge you want to lie to. The judge steps out for a moment, giving the lawyer a chance to talk to his client in private. As they come back, you can faintly hear the...
All I want is the truth.
Who's Constance Wagner?
I believe that was the name on one of the checks that I cashed, Your Honor.
Right. So when you went to the bank, or when you went to wherever you went, and you presented a check made out to Constance Wagner, I assume they asked you, are you Constance Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes,
And you
they did.
said, yes, I'm Constance Wagner.
Yes.
Why didn't you make the check out to like a mail so they could they can probably see you're not a female when you walked in with a check.
Well, like I said, Your Honor, I wasn't in no shape or form. I was under the influence of drugs. I didn't even know where this took place. I forgot all about that incident. Also, it's been quite some time since these cases happened. Like I said, but I totally forgot. I'm not trying to lie. I just didn't remember. Yeah.
It just seems curious to me that you wrote out checks to two females, presented the checks to cash. Did you cash any of the checks?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'd probably if I had this case, I'm sure they went through then.
You mean, so what you're telling me, you've done this so many times that you can't remember this one?
No, Your Honor, it's been quite some time that has passed, and I apologize.
It was a year ago. Okay. So you had these checks in your possession for a month, at least a month, right?
Yes.
It went from several months to a month.
And I know about the tech company is the checks that I had in my possession.
Right. That you found at some
Yes. During the course of me.
some building that was not in use when you were on a painting job.
Yes.
Okay. So presumably TKR Tech, whose checks they were, had been out a bunch of checks for at least a month, up to several months, and didn't report it until the day you walked in to try to cash it on July 20th of 23. That seems unlikely to me, that they would just be missing checks and not know they're missing
Well,
checks.
I believe that the people at the check cashing place knew that I wasn't who I was saying I was.
You mean they got clued in that you weren't Dusty Mays?
Sure.
Imagine that. So you were doing this completely on your own. Is that right?
No, Your Honor.
No. Then
No, I mean I was being driven. I had somebody driving me.
who?
A friend.
Who?
Antonio Harris was his name.
Who's Antonio Harris?
He was the one that took me to the check cash.
I know, but he didn't just pluck you out of thin air and drive you to the check cashing place. So who is Antonio Harris?
He was somebody that I was in contact with that showed me where to cash the check.
Okay.
How
were you in contact with him?
To a drug dealer.
When did you get in contact with him?
Prior to that month.
Okay. When you found the
Probably
checks?
Probably a week before I cashed it.
Okay.
Probably a week or so before I attempted to cash it.
All right, so what'd you tell Antonio?
I'd give him money if he drove me. He told me I would be able to cash him there.
So Antonio's the one that directed it to Ace Cash Express?
Yeah. I didn't have a vehicle.
Where is Ace Cash Express?
I'm not sure.
Is it in Ohio somewhere?
Yes, yeah.
Is it in Cleveland
It's in
somewhere?
Cuyahoga, probably, or Painesville out here. I'm not sure.
So first you went to 185th, right? You know, this...
I don't remember the sequence, how it went. I really don't. All I know is I made one horrible decision after another.
Right.
I got involved with somebody that I had no business dealing with.
Who?
Mr. Harris.
Okay.
Who led me to believe that it would be simple and easy and none of this would happen where I am today.
Once again, you're not owning up to what you did. First, you said you did it because you thought it would only hurt your credit. Now you're blaming someone named Antonio Harris, saying he told you it would be quick and easy. Maybe it's time to do something different, like clearly saying what you did, how you did it.
Me being strung out on drugs and and desperate like I was.
Well, but
I wasn't making.
you didn't cash a check to get money for drugs, did you?
One of the checks, yes.
I thought you cashed it to get an earn.
I used some of the money, yes. My granddaughter at the time, during this, had passed away. And what led me to come across was I was digging around and I found that checkbook. And I found the checkbook, and I asked how I could get money out of this, who would be able to help me with these checks, and I was led to Mr. Harris. And I cashed several checks, Your Honor. And the money I used for drugs and the money I did do something with, but I'm not making an excuse, I'm just telling you what happened. I was dealing with a woman I'd been involved with for 10 years, a drug-induced relationship, solely out of convenience, trying to stay on.
These checks weren't found by you in a backpack in a building that was unoccupied. These checks were taken from the business. 3 checks were taken from the business. Care to elaborate how they were taken from the business?
That I don't know. That I don't know, Your Honor. I did find the tech company checks. I did find those. The other ones were given to me
By who?
Mr. Harris, with the attempt of cashing them.
So now
I didn't
go-
steal the checks from no company or no
So
no
now we
business.
go from you found them in a backpack in a building that wasn't occupied that you were working at, kept them for a month to several months in
The tech company.
the car, and then decided to cash them and called Harris to find out where you could cash them. Now you just found one of them, and Harris gave you the other 2.
Yeah, I had the tech companies, and that's how I was led into Mr. Harris, because that's what he was into.
What?
I had the company, the tech company, the TKR tech company. I had that checkbook. I wasn't sure on how to write checks or how to get money
You had
or
a
where to
check-
go.
You had a checkbook. Is that what you said?
Yes,
There were 3 checks.
I didn't count the checks, Your Honor.
Oh, Jesus.
And by making the attempt of the TKR tech companies, that's how I was led to do it again.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I found somebody that could help me cash the check, the tech company, and show me where to go to cash it and how to cash
What do you
it.
mean the tech company? You found
How to write
so,
the check.
So how did you know Harris had 2 checks from TK?
I didn't.
You didn't. It was just a coincidence that you found some and then he had some?
No, it was. I was given his phone number because that's
By who?
by my dealer,
By your dealer. How did your dealer know to give you Harris's phone number?
because that's what the guy's into, I guess. You know.
Okay. Well, what did you discuss with your drug dealer?
I asked him. I said I tried to write checks. I said I have a checkbook. I don't know how to get this money out of this company. Where could I cash the check? He told me to go to a check cashing spot, or I didn't have a vehicle. And I said, well, who would, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
And he gave me this guy's number to call him for a ride. I gave him a ride, and this is what the guy was into.
And Harris
Since
just
I was so willing to
and
cash,
Harris just happened to have 2 of these checks himself from TKR.
no,
You,
those
well,
were
you
in my
just told me
possession.
a couple.
Those were in my possession. The TKRs were in my possession. The other checks that you're talking about, I don't know where they came from. All I know is I attempted to cash them.
What do you mean? What other checks you didn't know where they came from? What checks?
Well, if there's a Constance and
Well, you said
The
you
hard-
told me you wrote them out. You wrote it out to Constance Wagner, right? Isn't that what you told me before I left a little while ago? Didn't you tell me you wrote it out to Constance Wagner and then presented that to try to cash it and they wouldn't cash it?